Hola, Kim. Parece que le ha gustado este lugar. A nuestro super policía. Perdió los pantalones por la droga. Bien, tomaré eso en cuenta para no usarla tan a menudo. ¿Es una mujer o un hombre? ¿Unas botas de pescador? Estos zapatos son elegantes. No me dan nada útil. Y esto, más percepción. Es mi estilo, es mi estilo. Hola, buenas
Hi,
tardes.
officer.
La redera, una pescadora. ¿Una espada?
Anything I can help you with? The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. What are the other ones? Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks mostly. It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an... From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying. Gone.
¿Ido? ¿A dónde?
To the waves. The sea
Oh,
took
murió.
him. It was a long time ago. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found float. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was for you.
She really likes those muscles, though. It's in the way she pronounces sinewy.
Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an... Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
¿Tiene hijos?
This is neither a touchy. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another. Better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff. Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given.
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her.
Cada quien, ¿no? Vale, suena tan romántico. No, 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 no. Vamos a preguntarle qué ha encontrado.
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see bottles, drugs also.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get mines. Mines. You need mines.
Cuéntame algo más sobre esos cadáveres. No, pero bueno. Ah,
And go where? The fish are plentiful here and we get enough orders to get by. It's not great, but it's something. Exactly. I don't mean to complain about my sad pauper life. We do manage all right. We're tough people here. Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry. See, bye. Sunny days.
No, ma'am. We...
Good. It would have been bad news.
There's a moment's silence. She looks at the slush.
In time, when the sea turns and the winds...
Waves wash the sand. My prediction, it will be at least 2 days.
Remarkable. That one... It's a good thing, too, that he has an actual police officer looking for it.
That's odd. Is she actually impressed?
no, 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 no.
That's sweet of you. It really is. I check around the abandoned fish market on the boardwalk.
A phenomenon that the spectral...
If one of them lost something, that's as good a place to start looking as any.
El lago.
Let's see. Who are you looking for?
Busco ambos, de hecho.
I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate?
Gente que busca animales que según los científicos más tradicionales no existen.
Aha! Like snowmen. 2 odd guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
¿A dónde han ido?
I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Yeah, I'm not really looking for that anymore. Not much into the middle class. Wish I could help you with that, but I haven't seen your...
She seems genuinely sorry for not being able to help you.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Eventualmente, eventualmente. ¿Eso de que crujen es porque debo caminar en lugar de trotar? Es una mujer simpática. Parece que también este hombre es un enamoradizo. Creo que estos son sus hijos, ¿no?
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. This one doesn't say
Lily's our mum.
the stone kicker. The other one, wow. The stone kicking isn't even of very high caliber. Anyone can...
¿Y aquí qué es? Es la casa de ella, ¿no? Bueno, estoy invadiendo propiedad ajena sin siquiera pedir permiso. ¿Y este es un niño, una persona? Es una niña.
Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Yes, I am. Little Lily. You know my mom? That's nice. My mom is great. She's never angry or anything. Yes. They don't want to play with me. They look the same. They look identical. It's Lammy. He's my friend.
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is...
Lammy usually doesn't like strangers. But you're also fuzzy, like Lammy.
Ah, qué simpática.
Oh, I had gloves.
Tenía.
Very big ones.
¿Qué pasó con ellos?
Where did you get these gloves?
Found them when Lammy and I were playing hide and seek. In an...
She doesn't want you to think she stole them.
I hid them. The twins were gonna take them.
We are going to need those gloves. It's for important...
Oh. They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good.
Muchas gracias.
Bye!
Vaya, vaya, qué personajes tan... tienen algo de calidez dentro de toda su desgracia, ¿me explico? Dice que por aquí... ¿Y dónde? Hay muchas cosas. Más bien hay poco y nada aquí. ¿Qué es eso? Hay cosas por aquí y por allá.
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you. The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gaunt...
Ok, al rato lo reviso. ¿Qué es esa oscuridad que se cierne en el horizonte? ¿Y cómo llego a ella? ¿Por aquí? Ya basta de tanta melancolía, Harrier. Puedes hacerlo mejor. Ya tocaste fondo. Wow, sí que es amplio este espacio. ¿Todo esto? Supongo que el viaje rápido me cuesta tiempo, quizás dinero. Ya regresaré aquí, quizás en la noche. Parece que hay mucho por explorar. ¿Qué es esto de acá? Ah, es un padre.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Khan Heilostam. You must be Kim Kisura.
Nice to meet you.
¿Os conocéis?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of...
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before,
This man is your half... Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical.
Hold on. What's R&D? It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial... They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Felt had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say, it was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for... No, thanks to you.
Your brain, if anything.
Es cierto, ha sido muy unilateral. Me interesa más esa cosa.
You see, a once bright neural tower, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Hay mucho por investigar. Eso de allí parece un criptozoólogo. Sí, son ellos. Tienen allí algo como para atrapar animalejos. Deben ser ellos los criptozoólogos. Vamos avanzando en todo menos en el caso principal. Vaya, que soy un detective del pueblo. No para servir a esos burócratas. Claro, asesinaron a un hombre, pero por lo que entiendo era un pésimo hombre, así que... Y nadie ha venido a buscar su cuerpo, así que... ¿Monedas? ¿Encontraste monedas? Debe ser uno de ellos.
Here we go. Nice and easy.
there's a cylinder on the ground.
Who's there?
Is that the police?
Don't worry, Gary. To what do I...
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the A81. You broke the water lock with a motor carriage? But there was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
Did he say we can go?
Yes, Gary. We can go...
Sir,
I just have to do one more round. See if the Phasmid has taken the bait. Then we go in. And I'm eager to return to her. I assure you, my wife understands that.
Come on, Morale.
And leave the traps.
Come on. She wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry...
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A very... Yes. That's how we first... Suffice to say... It's long
Insulíndico.
been our dream to find proof...
His spirit may be willing, but his body might be too old to endure the rigors of the coast.
No, no, no. The traps need to be more...
He's dead set on this.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find. which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps. I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasm.
Seems puny, to be honest.
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever... not yet.
Just out of curiosity.
I know it's real.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasm...
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian... Yes, the most recent sighting. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all,
O sea, que se reproduce por sí mismo es asexual.
He means asexual reproduction. The females of the species don't need to mate to produce viable eggs. This makes it easier for a species with a small population.
Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult. I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research. There are 4 in total. Another we set in Land's End. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. You should check at least one of those before returning to this.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this? Extracurricular, even relative to examining a week old corpse. I'm not...
If you think it's important, you have been right before.
Bring it to me at once.
He's not comfortable with the possibility.
That's highly unlikely, officer.
Did you hear that? Pheromones. You were right.
Oh, I doubt there is any connection there. Anyway, these pheromones will attract the insect too. At least prevent
échemelo.
wise choice.
This is the smell of death.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without looking into a canister, so it...
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50.
Ok.
Right. Which means you two can pack.
Whatever he thinks about this detour.
Finally.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp.
If it's more cryptid-related business you want, but what if the information is vital on the...
Lo dejaremos así ya. Es suficiente. Yo quería que regresara con su esposa nada más. Ay, a ver qué me dice este hombre.
Hello, I'm Gary, Yellow Man.
The lieutenant raises his eye. Yellow man. Interesting.
Le dijo amarillo.
This is
Oh,
something
no.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization. I like nature, just not this.
Degenerates. This man respects authority too much. To see the truth inscribed upon thine own visage. Pretend thou art a paragon of virtue.
Oh, I've been tempted. But someone has to stay.
He pronounces Revocon with a hard K, unlike other people.
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great.
So you do...
No. Nothing. He was...
He didn't kill him or anything, but there's something going on.
My mug? Why would you think that? I may have had a similar looking mug in the past. That's all. Okay, I admit it. I threw
Sí,
the
la
mug
suya.
away in the trash container behind the hostel.
Es el sujeto que vive atrás
I
de...
know I shouldn't. You're not going to find me, are you? Whew. Thank you. You won't regret this.
Las pertenencias de otro hombre para tirar en la basura.
I don't know what got into me, really.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Here we go. Start pumping that sweet info.
Officer, please. Let me explain. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard. Then I came out to clean up the rags because no one else would. I put them in... Okay. I was
Right. It was just...
Exactly.
As he shifts uncomfortably, A series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another as they roll across a hardwood floor. You've heard this sound before, but where?
What sound? Really? There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though.
Every day, the wind shifts the reeds and whatever was left in them. Tambourines and condom wrappers.
What sound? I haven't the slightest. There's lots of...
Every day, the wind shifts the reeds.
I know a guy who works with the trash collection service, so I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. I'm sorry, okay?
Disgraced. No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing.
I hope I can help your investigation.
Don't be so relieved yet, Gary. This bad cop may have been in your apartment, admiring your mug collection. Perhaps a little intimidation?
Tengo baja compostura. Creo que puedo modificarlo.
Sure do, officer.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
El señor Clay debe estar enojado, muy enfadado contigo. Creo que... No le voy a decir eso. ¿Eres muy fan del hombre de Hendal? ¿Por qué?
How?
¿Cómo lo sabe? ¿Cómo lo sé? Vi el póster de tu apartamento. El señor Ebra Clay vio necesario abrir tu departamento. ¿Cómo desaparece? ¿Cómo lo sabe? Ya me entrampé.
Mr. Clare unlocked my apartment? So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. What have I done? He'll send the muscle after me. What could it be about? I probably talked too loud. In the whirling, I won't do it again. If there's anything I can do to assist you...
This scared him proper.
Veamos qué nos puede ayudar.
Turned, he cannot be unturned.
He clearly liked his squirming.
I like to pronounce it the hard.
He winks at you, trying to relay some hidden message. It's a secret rite. A very fringe nationalist handshake, probably.
¿Tú también eres criptozoólogo?
Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than...
Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next races will be a really good one?
Creo que sí, lo siento, como bien sabrás, parezco cierto... A ver, sí.
Well, this is that racist.
No es nada comparado con cráneo métrico.
I don't know who that is, but all I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. Oh, yes, of course he is. I was just speaking about his connections.
A ver, compostura más 2.
Subject, okay?
Si no lo puedo volver a intentar. Esta es una tirada... Ok, vamos, ya fracasé 2. Déjame ganar en la tercera. Aunque... no sé si tenga algo que me aumente la compostura. Creo que sí, creo que tenía ropa. Ay, perdí unos pantalones por las drogas. Oh, guantes de... Ah, me los puedo poner. ¿Qué es conectividad? Conectividad. Ni siquiera sé qué hacía. Domina las máquinas, fuerzas cerraduras. Ah. Sí, para... Ok. Estos guantes me dan instinto. Esto es para manejar máquinas. Ok. Se ve más pro. A ver, algo que me aumente que... ¿Qué era lo que necesitaba? Conectividad, no. Era... compostura, creo. ¿Sí era compostura? Sí. A ver, algo que me dé más compostura. Era reacción, electroquímica, resistencia, compostura. Ajá. Vaya combinación voy a usar. Ve mi poderosa combinación, es terrible. Qué mal se ve este hombre. Pero bueno, ya estoy en ello.
As you fold your fingers into a fist, you realize you could knock anyone out with one punch. The white ceramic gloves, the hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and voluptuous, adds a glow to your cheeks and a spring. You really do feel more confident. Invulnerability does that. Even partial invulnerability. Remember, this is a highly specialized kinetic redistribute for the day you have to fight someone.
Ahora sí.
Always a pleasure. I mean, officers.
Vaya, sí que se incrementó. Lo asusté. Escuché un sonido. ¿Llevará un pedazo de armadura? ¿Quiere llevar la armadura pensando en la armadura? Dado y... ok, todo eso.
That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something...
¿Trae la armadura?
ready to... Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes a clicking sound when the...
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
We're not detecting falsehood, sire. He's gearing up to this shame.
Gary!
Later, Morale.
No, you've got explaining to do.
¿Por qué me mentiste, Gary?
Because I was weak. I should have told...
The hell, Gary!
I'll explain later. Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was so I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those only the cuirass was left, so I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No,
We're detecting sincere contrition here.
It's okay. It was a loose end.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. CLI officers,
They were thoroughly conservative men, he realizes suddenly.
I always thought it was the Union, but I sure as hell won't go around saying...
This is all he knows. He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the... but so light to hold. This is it. This will protect your mortal shell. Don it?
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again. I...
Vaya, obtuve un fragmento de armadura. Ahorita se la pongo a ver cómo se ve él. Va a ser muy chistosa esa combinación. Ay, voy a tener que ir al apartamento y... a la parte de arriba y... explicarle que ya encontré a su esposo, pero que voy a tener que ayudarle ahora. A ver, vamos a ver la super armadura. Tan 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 tan. Menos empatía, a ver. Ah, se pone por debajo. Bien. Combinémosla con... quitemos esa chamarra, se le ve mal. Se ve horrible. Se ve terrible. Ajá. No llevo camisa. ¿Llevo chaqueta? ¿No llevo camisa? Ah, es que se la pone en lugar de la camisa. Algo más sencillo. Por aquí debe tener su ropa de policía. Es este, ¿no? No, tenía otra. ¿En dónde está? Quítate los guantes. Está bien que sí, pero se le ven mal. Listo. Perdí los pantalones por meterse esas drogas. Ok, se ve simpático. ¿Y en dónde estoy? Ok, encontré un pedazo de la armadura. No sé si ir con el líder del sindicato. Ya le ayudé. Supuestamente ya él me toca ayudar. Esto se va a hacer muy largo. Creo que debería hacer una pequeña pausa aquí. Vamos a intentar rasurarnos. Y luego iremos hacia allá. Más droga. No, esa sí la voy a vender porque sí he visto que es peligroso usarla. No puedo avanzar hacia allá. Bien. Intentemos rasurarnos. Y avanzar, y avanzar, y avanzar. Quitemos el sombrero.
On the table, you see a bowl of water.
Coordinación ojo-mano.
Next to it, a small hand.
Sí, necesito un poco más.
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next
Vamos,
to it,
hazlo,
a
si puedes.
small hand mirror. Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you use the small mirror and the straight razor. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, reducing a
Vaya, se ve muy mal sin rasurarse, pero bueno, podría verse peor.
The air brushing against it, chilly. They feel so smooth, surprisingly so. A feeling of freshness overcomes you, as if you just came. The water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face, despite you almost look like a professional.
A ver si Kim dice algo ahora que se ha rasurado. Se ve súper pálido, pero bueno. Espera, ¿tengo un punto más de habilidad? Creo que sí. Pues vamos a usarlo en alguna otra cosa cuando sea necesario hacer el chequeo. Y ahora pongámosle... espera, ¿qué? Vaya. Encontré más droga. Vaya, ¿quién lo diría? Que se ponga su sombrero. Y... lentes, no. Menos percepción, más mundo interior. Tiene bastante teatralidad, así que puede manejarse así. Ok, sí puedo hacerlo bien, A ver si Kim dice algo. ¿Ningún comentario? ¿Nada? Bueno, gracias, qué amable. Qué bueno que lo notas. Listo, pintura. Ahí está el columpio. Ok, ¿qué hay aquí? Hay un reproductor de cintas en su cuarto de hotel. Algunas monedillas, eso es todo. Bueno. Puedo escuchar la cinta arriba y vender algunas cosas en la casa de empeños. Desde aquí vino su coche.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you the reeds bend forlornly toward the sand. The constant, distant song, louder on this part of the coast. Near locusts are crawling around in the trap.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go.
No espero encontrar nada, estoy ayudando a unos civiles y tomando un poco de fresco.
I meant no offense, just...
Lo sé, pero lo estamos intentando, ¿sí? Capaz que encontramos algo y podemos hacer que regrese con su esposa. Abigail. Ahora, mi mayor inquietud es cómo salgo de aquí. Ahí hay monedas. Sí, pero cómo salgo de aquí es que... A ver, cerremos la... ¿Por dónde entré? Ajá. O sea, ¿cómo se cruza de un lado a otro? Ya, se da la vuelta por aquí. ¿Y luego? Bien, ya no necesito dinero para mantenerme en el hotel, eso es bueno. En el hotel tengo un reproductor de cintas, lo utilizaremos. Vamos a la casa de empeños a ver qué podemos hacer. Recuperemos todas las piezas de la armadura y veamos si puedo abrir el frigorífico que está abajo. Que está en la zona comercial. Zona comercial, hotel. Y lo dejamos allí.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can... Sure, let me have a look.
No quiero vender las piezas de armadura, ¿sí?
Alright, let's see it. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't... Besides, this gear costs a...
Pues una fortuna.
He would have accepted the risk if he hoped to profit from it. It's not greed, though.
Interesante.
Deep down, he's a gambler, provided the stakes are sufficiently interesting.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
¿Qué es esto? No es pintura. ¿Y esto? Esto sí lo puedo vender, ¿no? Eso sí lo voy a vender. Y nada más, creo yo.
More than sure. What else have you got?
¿Estás seguro que no quieres comprar la armadura?
More than sure. What
No,
else
no
have
quiere.
you got? Another time, perhaps.
Ok. Era todo. Hay que ir a ese hotel, intentar arreglar esas cosas. Escuchar la canción. Arreglar esas cosas e irme de allí. Primero arriba. También hay que hablar con el del sindicato. Voy a tener que hacer una pausa en algún punto de esta partida. Primero aquí, a ver qué puedo encontrar. Rebachol. Ah, sí. Creo que está muy oscuro. Ah, no. No está tan oscuro. A ver. Quizás con... Dije quizás con... ¿Qué es esto? ¿Puedo interactuar con él? Sí, sí. Ok. Y con esto, quizás con todo este equipo lo pueda hacer.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner.
Vaya,
and
no puedo
electric
intentarlo,
freezer.
está muy baja.
The ice around it slowly melting. The ice squeaks beneath the You see the pry bar's metal handle bending.
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it. But this... I have no idea, officer. These ice cream...
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your child.
Lo voy a intentar después. Ok. Me quitaré la armadura, no me gusta traerla. Y quitamos esto de aquí. Veamos si puedo hacer algo con... Respecto a Kuno, si ya me respeto un poco más por alguna razón. Tengo que ir al hotel, hablar con la señora, subir, escuchar la cinta, intentar arreglar aquella fuga de agua. Ahí sigue otra vez la actriz, no se asoma. A ver, Kuno.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad. Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything. Kuno doesn't...
Más empatía. ¿Cómo vamos de empatía? Está al máximo. Si meto más sí que puedo subir la empatía. A ver. A ver. Con cigarrillos creo que sube el intelecto. No, pero necesitamos, no es intelecto, es psique. Ay, más drogas. Bueno. Pues allá vamos. ¿Quién está volteando hacia el otro lado? Que te volteas hacia el otro lado, King. Vamos a intentarlo. Psique aumentada. Allá vamos. Temporalmente tengo esto. ¿Puedo subirla? Subir de nivel, a ver si me permite. Y listo. Necesitamos empatía. ¿Hay algo que me sube empatía? ¿Hay algo aquí que me quite empatía? Creo que no. Quitamos esto de aquí. Instinto, teatralidad, visión espacial, teatralidad. Quita esto de teatralidad. Enciclopedia, espíritu de core, visión espacial, lógica, electroquímica. Reacción. Algo que me aumente empatía, empatía. Abstracción, compostura, forma física, electroquímica, sugestión, instinto. Percepción, mundo interior, teatralidad, visión espacial, mundo interior, espíritu de core, escalofríos, compostura. Te diría que compostura, pero bueno, ahí va.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
Es muy baja.
Kuno doesn't give a fuck about
Pero vamos a intentarlo, no pierdo nada.
Trying to fuck at the Kuno. Trying to fuck Kuno gonna.
Normal is not what we got here.
Kuno doesn't.
No voy a lograrlo rápidamente. Ok. Aprovechemos que tenemos empatía alta.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time? Aggressive? Listen.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask. Or get back to your commanders. Look,
Strange. It's as if people don't believe.
He hablado con ellos. No, creo que intentar detenerlos pronto. Ah, los policías.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again. Goodness, how is he?
He's fine, ma'am. As we had suspected.
Oh, yes. But I am so relieved.
You haven't, however. There are dangers out there. Our aging bodies fail.
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramble.
Reflexively, the lieutenant...
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. I looked up, and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but...
She had no fear.
I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. I tried, but I was only a child. I ran back home to my grandma. For years it was a story. We were on our first date when I told him my story. You should have seen his face. He said my descriptions matched the Phasmid down to a T. Its white marble limbs.
So that's how they met. This is beyond significant for them.
¿Qué le digo? Estaban en una cita. La forma en la que se movía.
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I... Not all of them, as far as I remember. Some of them on the inside like stalks of marble, if that makes sense. Of course. I've thought about it. But Morel said... So how did I know what to imagine? You trying to tell us you saw the insulin...
I thought it was a wonderful story, ma'am.
But I don't believe it. A child left unattended on a warm day.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate it.
And she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own. Into the mud. Anyway.
Vamos a dejarlo así. Muchas gracias. Bueno, ya hicimos algo por ella. Hablaremos con este bastardillo.
Can I help you?
No, adiós. Creo que no me vas a ayudar con nada, así que... Ya no tenemos nada que hacer.
You see a heavy steel door.
A ver si utilizando esta cosa y esto.
You see, the door does not. The door doesn't. The door is closed. This door can open still. No, the lieutenant, he doesn't like where this is. You should punch your fucking up. You slam your face into the vinyl. It does not, not to mention.
Stop that.
Ok, dejamos esto por la paz. Intentemos arreglar esto.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Necesito el cortapernos.
Irregular, clean-shaven police officer.
Ok. El cortapernos, cortapernos, cortapernos. ¿No me deja? ¿Tengo que salir? Ahí está, cortapernos. ¡Oh! Cortapernos. Listo, a ver si con esta mezcla puedo intentarlo.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Conectividad.
Your face. Irregular, clean.
¿Y con qué? ¿Dónde está conectividad? Aquí. No tengo puntos para subir. Supuestamente necesito 50 para 100. Ok, bueno, al diablo. Entonces no lo intentaré en un largo rato. Es importante de todas formas. Quitemos esto. Quizás después tenga que regresar aquí de todas formas. Y creo que es todo. Guantes. Ponle los guantes los otros, estos. Y hablar con el del sindicato. Espera, aquí debería poder interactuar con esto. ¿No me deja? No. A ver. Herramientas, objetos. No. No. Aquí está. ¿En dónde estaba? Aquí está.
There's no way to listen to the tape without a word.
¿Y esto no es un reproductor? Bueno. Vámonos de aquí, King. Bajemos con los policías a ver qué podemos lograr con ellos. ¿Sí?
Yes? What is it? It means I'm a patrol officer, sir.
Es una subordinada.
Again? I can't believe this shit. I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say?
Ya, bueno, pues probablemente no. No te recuerdo de ninguna parte.
Okay.
Jean.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop.
Ok, no es un policía, no sé, no es importante. Los Hardys no los vamos a molestar por ahora. Vamos con una larga vuelta con el líder del sindicato. Decirle que ya hicimos el trabajo, a ver si me entrega mi pistola. ¿Y qué voy a hacer? Le voy a disparar. Es posible que quiera dispararle al cable. Pero necesito un estatus muy alto para lograrlo. ¿Podemos hablar con el racista de aquí?
Looking for something odd?
Nah, no dice nada para mí. ¿Tienes algo para mí?
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you? Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work. Thanks for helping out.
Gracias. Voy a ver si puedo convencer al contenedor de que se abra. No creo que quiera golpear otra vez a craniométrico, no tiene sentido, ¿o sí? Pero aquí había algo que había fracasado anteriormente. Veamos si puedo intentarlo de vuelta y qué tengo que modificar. ¿Por qué me ofrece el sillón para descansar?
The file cabinet stands steady as ever. And the unlocked drawer slides out to greet you.
Ok. Necesito incrementar mi voluntad. Marcas de café. ¿Alguien estuvo recientemente? Este me habla acerca de la película que rentaba. Ay, hemos avanzado bastante, por eso esta sesión es particularmente larga. Ya hasta me está dando un poco de hambre. Hoy a las 11 teníamos que ir a buscar al sujeto, ¿verdad? Al fumador. Si los del sindicato me van a estar apoyando, ya no debería haber tanto problema.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Lo voy a intentar. Ahí te van. Mi poderosa retórica del 3% lo logrará.
Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Porque recurrir a lo físico nunca fue una opción.
Because what wasn't an option?
Usar más fuerza que maña.
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. We can do that after all.
Ya sé, es una tontería, pero... quién sabe, a lo mejor hay alguien adentro. Vimos que la susodicha bruja no era nada de como una bruja, simplemente era una mujer que estaba obteniendo un lugar donde vivir de manera... bueno, donde trabajar y vivir de manera gratuita.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all.
¿Es todo? Ok, gracias, Leo. Vamos con el líder sindical a ver qué tiene por decirnos. Y que ya hice el trabajo con la comadreja. ¿Habrás encontrado mi pistola? Y ya con la pistola quizás pueda bajar el cadáver. Y ya bajando el cadáver quizás pueda quitarle las botas. Y bueno, todo eso. Antes había... bueno.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair. I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
Puede que haya entrado y visto la colección de tazas ofensivas.
Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated bug collection. What a weasel.
He was testing you.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police
A ver, vamos a ver si ya llegamos a la parte importante.
I promise you, Harry. This is by now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the wild...
You mean our victim?
A security contractor. Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Salamoritsa. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Come on, el container.
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, one of them got downright suicidal. Getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control.
El otro podría ser el esquirol que está abajo, ¿eh?
By negotiator.
Harry, what you need to realize is, we got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us...
An entire neighborhood of killers.
Un vecindario entero de... ¿quién exactamente presiona?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor.
That sounds a bit like...
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make...
Again, that's...
So these...
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction...
Socialdemócrata, oh Dios.
Boss. Socialist Democrat. He probably worded it differently.
Okay.
But that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed...
Aren't you worried we might arrest...
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martin A's boys, tough and gritty.
If he's just boasting, then it sure doesn't. He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error.
¿Qué vamos a hacer en serio?
Anyway.
¿Qué hacemos? Sí, bueno, preguntemos esto.
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company... These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercy.
So you believe the scabs were...
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during... Of course, you're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me. Oh, they are simply fine young men. All 7 of them. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when time...
Interesting.
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like...
Separate one from the herd.
Oh, that would definitely be Fat Angus. His feet smell from a city block away, and he's always having noisy stomach troubles. Horrible, revolting guy.
Entonces pongamos que le pasa algo a Angus, como un arresto. Ajá.
You would die, Harry. You would die, and in the process start a bloody and completely Angus, his ever-growling stomach, and his smelly feet are all part of the Union. Actually, less, because this is my hometown. Oh, Harry. This is getting real grim, and there's no need for that. We are friends.
He mencionado a cierta abogada.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal. But of course, it's the least I can do for my good...
You can now go and tell Titus.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
¿Y esto a cuento de qué?
I'm not giving you anything.
Needless to say, this is another move.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information.
Daban unos sobornos bien miserables, ¿no?
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martin A's. And of course, yes, Harry, it's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left.
A man of the left. So he's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
No. Y eso que viene, soy más de izquierda que tú.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitching.
And what would isn't?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta. I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martin A's. It will be right... There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission... Yes, the little cul-de-sac on the coast, where all the men have drowned.
You're already pretty deep into this. What's a little more?
They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right?
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Am I? Harry, these people... Martin A's is the most... We're going to build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up, and kids have a place to play in.
He means it.
It depends. I don't think what we just got...
But, he thinks...
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well...
He's saying as little as possible, as vaguely as he can.
Sí, no lo pienso hacer por ahora. No quiero perjudicar a los... Ahora sí que a esa gente del puerto.
Perfectly acceptable. No one's gonna force you into anything, but I don't know about that gun of yours. But the good news is, the moment you change your mind and want to look into this matter...
The lieutenant's eyes. Okay, fine.
No va a decir nada, así
See
que...
you soon, Debardeur.
Ay, no me va a decir nada del asesinato. Tampoco quiero convertirme en un trabajador a sueldo de él, ¿verdad? Sospecho que el que... No, pero las piezas que me faltan son el casco y las botas. Las botas las trae puestas. El casco lo tenía Kuno y lo aventó al mar. Debo de volver a hablar con la pescadora. Ay, otra vez. De camino hacia allá. No, no quiero meterme en nada del puerto sin perjudicarlos. No quiero perjudicarlos, mejor dicho. Tú, ábrete.
You're back before the cargo container.
Y ahora lo que puedo hacer es ir a hablar con Joyce. ¿Eres socialdemócrata? Sí, yo creo que sí es socialdemócrata. ¿Visto lo visto? Vamos a ver sus archivos. Por algo están allí esos autores archivos. ¿Qué es lo que tengo que subir de habilidad para intentarlo?
The file cabinet stands steady as ever,
Voluntad.
and the unlocked drawers.
¿Y cómo se sube la voluntad? Voluntad está en abstracción, sugestión, autoridad. Sí, lo que más estoy utilizando es de lo que menos tengo. Pues uno más de voluntad. Listo. Y ahí vamos.
The file cabinet stands steady as ever.
No puedo fallar,
and the
está muy
unlocked
alto.
drawer
Bueno, sí puedo
slides
fallar,
out
así son
to
estos de...
greet you. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics. It appears to be a to-do list. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes. Special work. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself.
One of his aides must have left it.
The special borscht seems a bit... What is so special about this borscht? Code for... Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the drawer slides.
Bueno. Tenemos un poco de información, no está mal. Ay, hablar con los Hardys y luego con la encargada. Este hombre de aquí, este esquirol, parece pagado por el sindicato. Es bastante fuerte. No sé si traigo... Posiblemente traigo una armadura. Sí, déjalo. Por ahora no podemos sacar algo demasiado útil de él. Hablemos con Hardy. Malditos sindicatos. Me estaba convenciendo de apoyarlos y luego me sale con que quieren afectar a los colonos del puerto. Ya de por sí están bastante perjudicados.
I've got nothing to say to you.
Él no me va a ayudar. Quizás estos jóvenes me ayuden. Veamos.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
A ver, Titus. ¿Qué tienes que decirme? No.
Oh, so you went and talked to him.
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You're gonna go and tell on us?
Yeah, I heard him. Let me state this very clearly, Capo.
But having Everard back you up like that did seem to have some effect.
Again.
Good one, Titus.
About fucking time.
Starting from the right, sitting coughs a lot. Across at the... He spent his youth, and then, standard, the emblem on his vest in the far corner. Standard working boot. Steel reinforced on his neck. Let's call this one size in the middle. In conclusion, exactly.
The fuck is with you, fella?
No tengo autoridad suficiente. Sí, no me van a ayudar. Necesito hablar con Joyce. Solamente ella me podría decir algo útil. Espero que ella me pueda decir algo útil. Y si no, voy a ver si ya puedo pintar el cuadro que está en mi camino. Hay una cosa que me da más abstracción, creo. No me dice nada. Se supone que ya tengo un bote con pintura. ¿Será suficiente con eso?
Paintbrush? Check. Heavy fuel. The paintbrush in your hand is like a loaded revolver. What will it be, Desperado? Quite a few things come to mind.
Va a suceder algo hermoso. Dibujó un pictograma de un ser humano de hace 3500. Que sombra aquí yace bajo el brillante resplandor. La brocha de tu mano es como un revólver. Dibujó un pictograma. A ver. No está mal, supongo.
The wall will now silently repeat the message for a decade or so, until the sea air degrades the paint. Adding
very poetic. Real poetry. Should we return to our murder?
Mira aquí, no critiques mis ansias artísticas.
Yes. I don't know what to say. Perhaps...
Lo sé, espectacular, ¿verdad?
I'm really not sure about this turn of events. I may have preferred
damage.
Either way, good on you. You were saying?
Ah, ya me deprimió el daño. Sí se ve terrible, pero... Oh, Dios, sí se ve terrible, pero bueno, ni modo. ¿Cindy me dirá algo?
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Es todo, gracias. Nos vemos luego, Cindy. Pensé que iba a decir algo por mi arte. El deterioro. ¿Me vas a ayudar?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Bueno, he estado haciendo tratos con Ebrard, de nuevo.
That's the man who was killed. Better not tie the force.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it. She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that.
Una referencia, daré por hecho que era para alguien de la MSR. No, una puerta de verdad, la puerta de la casa de alguien. Es lo que me ha pedido. ¿Y usted lo hizo?
Oh my.
The lieutenant does not say anything, but you hear the nylon of his jacket rustle as he looks at you.
Tenía que hacerse.
That's good to hear, Detective. Please what...
Her bartering mind cannot fathom that you...
Frankly, what was done was not pretty at all, but I advise you to be very selective with what information you choose to share. This may have consequences beyond our line of sight.
The company did not send mercenaries after the Union. I just hope you don't share Everart's view on things.
Let's keep it that way. Look who's defensive suddenly.
El ala militante del sindicato organizó el linchamiento.
I wouldn't have taken Everart for a saber rattler.
No, it was more like he wanted things to get worse. In secret, of course.
Or he wants you and me to believe.
Of course. Politics is showmanship. He is constantly...
There's always that risk, man. But if he means it.
Lo dice en serio. Creo que puede haber estado jugando con nosotros. ¿Quién tiene razón? Estoy bastante seguro de que lo decía en serio.
I'll think it over, Detective.
This gave her pause. Have I underestimated the Union's ferocity? She has to ask herself by now.
Yes. That's the talk about town. The Hardy Boys, they're called. Find the name rather amusing, honestly. What you've said is quite enough. You've given me a lot to consider, and may have helped me prevent this conflict from escalating. Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should something come up. Now, what else can I do for you? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Más abstracción, pero tengo bastante.
We're in Martinez. Baby.
Ajá, ¿qué es Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revershop. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time. I would be happy to. What? We're in Martinez. Martinez, you would be excused for not knowing about Revershop. The great kind. History detective. They built this city to resolve history. The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Elysium in the DeLorean century. 300, they say it's where the terrible questions of, by that I mean, we are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island, able to sustain up to 200
millones de personas?
People, in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean.
Insulíndico.
It's where the money is.
Es una isla gigantesca, es más, es como Japón o Inglaterra. Qué extraña es este lugar. Entonces estamos en una parte sin importancia de un lugar importante.
I think it's fair to say so.
A collection of tall ghosts behind the water.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of...
Silence. The water, the light. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
This is one thought you need.
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
Es todo, gracias.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Sobre mi placa
I'm
perdida.
afraid I can't say any more until we've taken care of formal protocol.
Me temo que no puedo decir nada más hasta ahora que no hayamos ocupado el protocolo formal. Nunca adivinará lo que encontré en mi placa.
Did you? Wonderful. It is a relief to see a W freighter here. The situation is precarious, to say the least. It needs a quick solution, or we will have a bloodbath on our hands. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They were dispatched after I relayed the union.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of... Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and...
Who are they, exactly?
Crenel, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me they wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have...
So, what...
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was taken out behind the whirling in rags. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss... It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military...
What is the nature of the...
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union military...
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
Quizás las investigaciones puedan hacer piñaza de compartir recursos y datos de inteligencia. Serán todos ellos, la decisión ya está tomada. ¿Qué hago aquí?
Surely you're joking. These people are killers. My only hope is that yours provides a single, concrete If you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute...
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant?
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest...
Sí, bueno, no te divagues.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to...
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every...
As I said, a bloodbath.
No creo que pase. Antes tendrían que limar demasiadas cosas.
Too many things have already gone wrong. All we can do is keep that which is not from following suit. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Se abrieron más diálogos. Bueno, ¿has dicho que el fallecido agredió a una mujer?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers, that the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman.
The lieutenant consults his...
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with...
Tal vez sea Silvia.
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later... That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remain... If you mean did I see him alive? Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one. One is a man. Courty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman.
What would you say was his eye color?
She closes her eyes.
I can't remember.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first.
That's all right, man.
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say...
What else?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once. They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meet. That's wise. Our goal is to avert catastrophe. Besides, until the executions start... Truthfully, I don't know.
They don't report their progress.
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this... It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Ok, de días. Ay.
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small...
Since you are sharing, man, this is all...
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Claro, el tema de los tatuajes.
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half...
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his...
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size look close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago. The sailors would mark their board. His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that.
You wouldn't even know where to start.
Ah, perdón.
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption. Quite a few. Read a fort.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Preto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Revachol. Those are the two constants.
The old world.
You said you can't...
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no...
In Martinez, looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a sign.
Este hombre no es mi hermano, pero este es su historial de servicio.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways. Just...
For all the boys looking for an adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
Is there anything else I can help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite. Glad to have been of assistance.
Bueno, sacamos algo de utilidad. Ahora tenemos que detener a alguien o si no va a ser un baño de sangre por parte de los mercenarios. Uno por uno. Es bastante corrupto, ¿no? Que el sindicato sacrifique un hombre. Creo que tengo que hablar con Silvia. Posiblemente ella fue a la que atacaron. Primero los del sindicato. Y luego con el líder sindical. Vayamos con los Hardys. Necesito chivarle al líder del sindicato. ¿Sabes qué? Necesito que me digas a quién quieres que sacrifiquemos. A ver si ellos pueden decirme algo.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are
Sí,
still
Titus. Intento resolver esto también, por el bien de ustedes incluso. Nada, lo voy a ser franco.
Yeah, by friends.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Nervous, snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys...
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole Merc platoon.
So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army.
Yeah. What are they now, huh?
These people are trained military professionals.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. We know more about them than... We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon. I guess we're gonna see.
That was an unsure phrasing.
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor. You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole... The fuck is that supposed to mean?
We're not bees. We're men.
Son socialistas.
He's trying to phase you. What are you trying to do?
Dice Jace que se han revelado, están descontrolados.
Big fucking surprise.
Tienen estrés postraumático.
He's really prepped himself up for this. He has to keep the fear in check.
What do you mean? Okay.
Quiero decir, vale, cuenta con mi arma. Quiero decir, vale, supongo que me veréis entre ellos acribillándonos. No. Quiero decir, vale, Titus, os van a exterminar. No, quiero decir, vale, lo tenéis controlado, tenéis superioridad numérica. Va a ser un baño de sangre. No voy a estar al lado ni de uno ni de otros. En caso de que vengan, es que son mercenarios, si ellos vienen por ellos, la policía debe estar del lado de proteger a los civiles. Porque ambos están en ilegalidad, pero estos son más pueblo que aquellos. Es una cuestión complicada. Vamos a negociar.
We don't need you or your last gun.
Last gun or not, you're going to need help. We are...
Okay, I accept the offer.
He appreciates it, but can only accept it conditionally.
No le puedo... Necesito más autoridad. Pero bueno, no vamos tan mal. ¿Tendré que ir con el líder del sindicato? Parece que sí, otra vez. A ver, ¿tú me vas a ayudar en algo?
I've got nothing to say to you.
Nada, no me ayudas en nada, ya, se ha terminado. Hay dos opciones, que esto termine en una balacera, lo cual no es recomendable, o que el líder sindical sacrifique a uno de sus hombres para que vaya a prisión, que es algo que se hace mucho en México, que los mandan a prisión como chivo expiatorio. Les dejan algunos años, se roban una gran cantidad de dinero que se le dejan a su familia y se van una determinada cantidad de años a prisión. Simplemente hay que ver cómo le ha ido a Elvester Gordillo. Ya está de vuelta en la calle con muchísimo dinero y hasta se casó con su abogado. No creo que esto sea importante. A ver. Vamos a ver, necesito ponerme la ropa con espíritu de policía. A ver si estos desgraciados pueden ayudarme en algo. Ujú. Ajá, ajá, ajá. Esta que traigo ya me da espíritu de policía, ¿no? Ujú. Ajá. Electroquímica, forma física, compostura, lógica, speed de chords. Esta también es buena. Híjole, pero se le ve la panza. Ujú. Ujú, ujú, ujú. Bueno, tengo lo que se necesita. Intentémoslo de vuelta, a ver que me ayuden.
Set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. 10-4, sir. Glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is...
Feels good to get that off your chest, right?
No, no vamos a celebrar con una birra.
10-4, I know I already wrote it in a report, but it will stay on my desk for a few days. Over.
Ok.
Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
Me gustaría hablar con Sylvie, pero no me dice suficiente. A ver si los Hardys me dan información de quién era la chica a la que estos... es que si es Sylvie, ella puede presentar cargos. Aunque no sé. Bueno, sí, aminoraría cargos contra los Hardys en caso de que tuviera alguno. Pero imagínate, es la corporación gigantesca contra un sindicato. No sé, corruptos contra corruptos, neoliberales contra sindicalistas. No es el mejor de los escenarios. Vamos a dejarlo aquí. A ver, Hardy, ayúdame.
The circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Sí, sí, sí.
Again.
Good one, Titus.
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped...
What kind of
the kind that shows...
A live grenade.
This one has a...
I can't prove it, but I'm wrong. He
¿Hielo aún a quién?
raped one, harassed
From rape to arrest. He regrets mentioning it.
to kill us all if we don't open the gates. If we don't let...
Yeah, he said it was his favorite.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs.
¿No es la cantante?
Show me your cunt. Why don't you show me your cunt? Then...
No, you're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns. About fucking time.
No me va a decir. La mujer que está arriba, la cantante, podría tener información, pero no me va a soltar información ella, porque no puedo, ni siquiera la veo salir. Ya no hay mucho que deba, o sea, ya... ¿Y estos policías? ¿Estos polinútiles qué? A ver, ¿me van a ayudar en algo?
What is it? I don't...
Don't say anything, Judith. Me? No. I'm just a man with sunglasses. I like...
Okay.
I'm just looking out.
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
I just want to do my job. That's all.
No van a ayudar, no puede ser.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses.
Okay, why not? Let's do the old thing over again. We're not wasting time. There is... So, do you know who hanged him? I don't know. Oh my god, there's more. You want something more?
No son estos los gatilleros, ¿verdad? ¿Tan cerca? Es que es un disfraz espantoso, es una peluca rubia mal hecha y unos lentes de sol, o sea, llama la atención, no es nada discreto. Vamos con el sindicalista y lo dejamos allí. Pues es que no hay muchas cosas que hacer, ya creo. Hay una mujer que está completamente drogada acá abajo que no responde. Está el racista, está craniométrico, está este sujeto. No sé si sea él, ¿eh? Podría ser que esté infiltrado, está muy bultoso.
Right to work! Right to... What's it to you? Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. Every once in a while, it's like you... We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Worked at... Pretty okay as far as lies go. We're done here. I have a strike to break.
Sí, quizás él sea uno de los mercenarios. Tiene cara. Y por aquí está esta mujer. A ver si ella me puede... ¿Pero qué es esto? Ah, drogas, en serio.
The woman still has no response, no response, no response, wherever this woman is.
Entroponauta, la que viaja a través de la entropía. ¿Qué necesito darle drogas? ¿Ofrecerle drogas para que reaccione? Me parece que sí. Vamos a provocar otra vez a cráneo métrico. ¿Por qué no? Este hombre es muy cooperativo. Veamos si tiene algo para decirme.
Hola, Wandering Man. Okay.
No, ok. Vamos con cráneo métrico. Veamos si puedo... Si puedo meter algo de miedo. Hola, cráneo métrico.
Do not presume this has drastically altered our race dynamic. Our personal dynamic has changed. A little.
Es todo. Ya no tengo nada que hacer con él. Ir con el jefe del sindicato, informarle y luego ver hacia dónde vamos. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Cuál radio?
The payphone hangs mutely on the wall.
Bueno, ya está enfocado en su caso. Ya aprendí un poco más acerca de quién es. Posiblemente tuvo un hijo y lo perdió, no sabemos cómo. Pero ya tiene una noción más clara de quién fue. Así que puede enfocarse más en su labor. ¿Qué pasa si descanso aquí? ¿Acaso voy a percibir algo? Percibir algo. Quitémonos esta ropa, no me gusta del todo. Listo. ¿Voy a percibir algo?
This is the night watchman. The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons.
Inspira profundamente, busca algo que te ayude.
The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold... Oh boy, where to start?
What? ¿Todo
Elevated
eso?
risk of... Maybe this was a bad idea.
No.
You stand and exit the booth. The chair is not as austere as stale air floods through your nostrils. Not a single mote of dust floats inside your lungs, though. The inside of the booth is stale air floods. The drawers are empty, save for you take the painkillers. They are yours now.
Bueno, consiguieron algunos medicamentos. Vaya, nada importante. 3 analgésicos. Pueden servir para la moral. Y vamos a ver si puedo abrir el contenedor.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer.
Con retórica. Bueno. Voy a advertirle. No quiero hacer ese trabajo del puerto a menos que... No sé. Ok, ya estamos aquí de vuelta. ¿Está escribiendo?
Mr. Dubois, I hear the meeting with Titus was a glowing success. Now, what can Everard Clare do for you today? Most certainly, Harry. Nothing brightens my day like brainstorming these things with you. Oh, they are simply old Theo.
Interesting.
They're almost work with them.
Separate one from the herd.
Oh, that would definitely be Fat Angus. His feet smell from a city block away, and he's always having noisy.
¿Qué pasaría si le coloco esto a alguien sin hacer mucho ruido?
You would die, Harry. You would die, and in the process start a bloody and Angus, his ever-growling stomach, and his smelly feet actually left. Oh, Harry. This is getting real. By all means, Harry. What's on your mind?
Nope, no me va a ayudar. Diantres. Pues bueno. Vayamos hacia el sur y pues nada más. No hay mucho que hacer, a menos que recolecte las firmas, pero ahora me toca investigar si es pertinente o no. ¿Qué tanto les afecta el tema de las firmas a la gente que está en la iglesia? Digo, la iglesia que está en el puerto. Aquí es donde hace falta el viaje rápido. Veamos. Ok, llegar ahí lo más rápido posible. Corre, 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 Harry, corre. Harrier de Bow. No se ha activado un nuevo diálogo. He estado encontrando drogas por todas partes, lo cual no es muy alentador. Necesito bajar el cadáver, por eso necesito la pistola aparentemente, o ganar la confianza de Kuno. Pero hay muchos niños, ahora que lo pienso, al sur hay muchos niños que me pueden ayudar. Entonces hay que pasar de ellos. Ahora es tiempo de ir al puerto y buscar ese supuesto críptido. Ayudar a la gente. Hacia el sur y vamos hacia el sur. Tengo buen equipo ahorita, no necesito comprar más ropa. ¿Qué es esto? Gafas y esas cosas. ¿Qué es esto? Hora de investigar todo este sitio. Palanca y cortapernos. ¿Qué es? ¿Unos lentes? ¿Unas gafas de sol? ¿De policía? Más empatía, menos lógica. Tiene bastante lógica, ¿no? Sí, empatía muy poca. Bueno, me servirá. Me servirá con Kuno y todos esos personajillos de por aquí y por allá. Ok, por aquí no había nada la vez anterior. Revisamos rápidamente. Unas monedillas, siempre son útiles. No he encontrado la ropa de aquel... ¿verdad? Borrachales. ¿Qué hay aquí? Ah, se puede entrar. Está muy oscuro. Aquí no hay nada. Aparentemente no hay nada. A ver, ¿qué escuchaste? Ajá, no hay nada por acá. Quita la linterna. La linterna, listo. Por aquí está nuestra amiga del puerto. Tengo más interés en seguir hablando con ella. Ella posiblemente nos pueda dar información acerca de lo que quiere hacer el sindicato.
Hi, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. Oh? Who? Yeah, I'm not really looking... Wish I could help you with that, but I haven't...
She seems genuinely sorry for not...
Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Oh. That's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? This calls for a funeral, if you ask me.
¿Esto requiere un funeral? No, ese es... Está sugiriendo que honremos... Dice, esto requiere un funeral. Está sugiriendo que honremos el chasis del que solía ser mi carruaje motorizado.
Aye. Feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty like that and all?
Qué idea tan excéntrica, tal vez debería hacerlo.
Why odd? Our things are a part of our life world. They're made with our human sweat and they
vaya, animista.
share human history. We should care about them as we care about humans. To some extent, at least.
Sí, puedo entender esa conexión del humano con el objeto, sobre todo cuando cuando no estás enajenado de él. ¿En qué sentido? Cuando el objeto sirve, por ejemplo, como fuente de trabajo o que cumple una función necesaria y concreta. Cuando digo necesario no me refiero desde el punto mercadológico que todo es necesario en cierta forma, sino de que es algo más fundamental.
Life world. Someone's been reading up on last century Gotwaldian philosophers. Play it cool now.
Oh yeah? You won't even be able to get it out of the water before. Take it from someone who's been through a few funerals.
That's all we have time for right now anyway. Come back here in June and see how you feel about it then. It's not like it's going anywhere. Yes, that is a pity. But for now, let's focus on the things we...
You like the Capri funeral idea?
Ok, más adelante. Creo que sí le propondrá salir. Ajá. Ok, mucho que explorar. Hay una iglesia. Está la casa. Viajemos hasta... pues, ¿qué será esto? El oeste, ¿no? Vaya, qué lugar. No hay mucha gente que habita aquí. Tengo que preguntar acerca de qué pasaría si construyen esa zona... ese centro juvenil. Supongo que solamente hasta que...
Doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock. This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together a hasp and a staple screwed. You see a yellow circle with two X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. There is something blindingly modern about this symbol. It's modern. He takes off his glasses and uses a blue
No. Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests junior delinquency. I haven't seen that sticker before, and I'm not a youth.
This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together a hasp and a staple screwed into the wooden door. The lock is adorned with a...
If you really think we should get in there, we need to find some other way. It does seem rather irrelevant to us.
A ver. No, si me interesa la pegatina, lo que voy a hacer es cambiarme la ropa para ello. Vaya. Aquí está, conectividad +2. Listo.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut. Your hands are clammy from the sea air. The piece of sticker keeps slipping away. The lock clanks against the door, cold and heavy. The padlock passes through a staple that's been hastily attached to the... Should you want to get through, it might be easier to just pry the whole thing off. This cheap-looking padlock, it'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. The carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the church itself. The surface is smooth from the wind, but moist to the touch.
Lo haremos más
If you
tarde.
really think we should get in there, it does seem...
Pues dejémoslo aquí. Si ya ha sido largo, voy a tener que dividir este video en 2 partes. He avanzado más de lo que esperaba y se han abierto más cosas de las que quería. En fin, dejémoslo aquí. Mi nombre es José Antonio Gutiérrez. Esto es Disco Elysium. Hasta pronto. ¡Ja!